West River Radio.
Yeah, and here we go. Listen to this.
What?
You know that theme?
That's from CSI.
CSI. Let's cross down live to our detective on the spot here at West Bremer Radio, Harold the H. Peacock, Senior Constable on the case. He's a bit late because it was way back, 85 years ago, an unsolved murder mystery. Let's find out more. I hope there's no one alive, or the murderer's alive. You might get Harold the H. How are you, Harold?
Good morning, Danny. Yeah, I'm on the ground here at Goodna, looking at the crime scene as we speak.
G-Town, yes, mate. Tell us about this murder mystery.
Yeah, it was 85 years ago. It was around 8 p.m. on Thursday, the 16th of September, 1937. Patrick Farrell of Goodna noticed a car driving along what was then a country road. It stopped on the corner a short distance from the railway bridge there on a lonely part of Woogaroo Street.
Yes.
Now, after a while, Farrell heard a woman screaming. That's it. And as he approached the car, two men hurriedly jumped inside, started the engine, and quickly drove away.
Yeah.
When Farrell reached the spot, he saw two patches of fresh blood on the ground. He called the police. So Farrell spoke with Constable John McAleen at Goodna Police Station. McAleen made further inquiries, and at 11 o'clock that night, he rang headquarters in Ipswich. That's when Sub-Inspector Frank Kearney and plainclothes Constable Murray MacDonald motored to the scene. They made a brief inspection, and then they got in touch with the Criminal Investigation Branch in Brisbane. Yeah, it was spreading far and wide, the investigation, because officers from the CIB, including Detective Sergeant George Stoltz and plainclothes Constable Albert Hurd, began working on the matter through to the morning. Then Inspector Alfred Jensen came along with the government pathologist, Dr. E.H. Derrick. They arrived on the scene at first light and continued the investigations. Two more detectives and a black tracker from Oxley joined the investigation.
Right.
But because of the grassy surroundings, there were no footprints around, nor were any signs of struggle found.
Really?
Now, police patrol cars loaded with detectives were seen scouring the district. The Goodna mystery, with headlines about screams in the night and bloodstains in the grass, had the public scared stiff.
Wow.
The pinnacle of Queensland Police Service was involved. There was, of course, Inspector Kearney, who I mentioned. He was in charge of the Ipswich Police, although he probably became more famous the following year when he got a hole-in-one at Nudgee. Then there was Inspector Jessen. He was a 30-year police veteran and head of the CIB. He'd been associated with the investigations of many of Queensland's most serious crimes. He was famous for having set what was probably an Australian record when he investigated 3 murders in 8 days when he was stationed up at Townsville.
Big noter.
And then there was the government pathologist, Dr. Derrick, who was one of the preeminent scientists in Australia. He would later be awarded the Salenta Medal for advancing the knowledge of tropical hygiene, and he would also receive the prestigious Britannica Award for his outstanding contribution to medicine.
Was Paul Tully there?
Not at this stage, but as famous as Dr. Derrick was, it should be said that in 1940 he did actually catch one of the diseases that he was studying, which was endemic typhus. Anyway, after days of intense police investigation in Goodna and near panic by the public, the dreadful truth of the woman's screams, the bloodstained roadway and the strands of hair was revealed. Dr. Derrick's report disclosed the blood came from a goat, and the hair collected in the scene also belonged to a goat. That's when officials at the CIB concluded that no crime had been committed. But Danny, the big question remains unanswered to this very day.
Where's the goat?
What were those two men doing with the goat at Goodna that night? It's a murder mystery that may never be solved, and it remains one of the most intense investigations in Ipswich police history.
Is that...
That's absolutely true, and it terrified Goodna for days back in 1937.
Mate, we are on fire here. You know about the bloke who went to the seance? There's a group of people, and someone said something, and the old bloke slowly walks up the aisle and said, I've done that. I've had sex with that. He said, what, sex with a ghost? He said, no, a goat. Now, Harold, you amaze me with you load the gun and keep loading the breech with something new all the time. And you are such a talent and a great researcher and storyteller. Would you agree, Damien? You've been in the media for a long time.
I know, and I'll tell you what, I am hooked on Harold's stories all the time.
Yeah, and don't forget to get on the and give us your Put it on Facebook on historyouthere.com or westbrimaradio.com.au because we're going to give away a wonderful prize. We haven't worked it out yet.
We're going to raid the prize cupboard.
Is there a cupboard? Is there a prize cupboard?
Is there a car in there? You were going to give away a car.
No, I was, but it was only a Matchbox toy. Now, mate, how do we get to read about this? Because you've got also a book out, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I got a number of books out. The last one was about Dover Court, a historic house with all sorts of missing persons and scandals involved. But you can go to historyouthere.com first thing in the morning, and this goodness 85-year-old unsolved murder mystery story, that'll be there. And the Ipswich stories, they're going to be compiled into a book for you as well.
Paul Taylor, who reads the news on weekends at Channel 9 News, he listens. And he's very impressed with you as a storyteller. So, Paul?
He must be a really nice guy, is he?
He's a great bloke. He's very talented. He's a funny man. Paul, you need to get Harold the H on air at Channel 9 News. That was live. Play that scene, that theme. He's still got the theme. Can you theme up the theme? Yes, that was live from CSI headquarters. 85 years ago, Paul Tully was the counsellor at Gatton and Goodna, and he's trying to still solve that murder right here on West Bremer Radio.